Hey everybody, welcome back to Lemon Branch DIY. Today we're working on my truck, and yes, I've got this brand new GMC Denali, and it's a beautiful truck until we hit the curb. And we've got some mess up here on the wheel that is just enough to drive me crazy. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing to fix it today, and it's not a very difficult repair, and you can do it yourself. So stick with me and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so yes, we got a little close to the curb here, and you can see we kind of hit the side of the wheel here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you the first couple steps on how I'm going to actually repair it, and then it's actually pretty simple. First thing we're going to do though is I'm going to grab my Dremel tool, and you can see, I'll flip this around, so you can see how rough that actually is, and it went right obviously through the paint. And this paint is pretty thick, but it left it really rough. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna smooth it down to the metal and be careful with kind of smoothing things out. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to paint it. But well, first we gotta make it nice and smooth and get rid of all this roughed edge. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna use my Dremel, and I'm just gonna get a sandpaper. This is a pretty heavy grit sandpaper, just go on my Dremel tool. And I'm just gonna kind of turn the RPMs down just a little bit, and I'm gonna start off just seeing if I can get it a little bit smoother, and then I'll probably go to a finer grit just to get it nice and smooth, and then just use some regular sandpaper, and then we'll get it kind of prepped and ready for the paint. Okay, so you can see how nice and smooth it is over on this side now. I'm getting a really good result with it. So I'm just gonna keep taking it nice and slow just to get rid of all of those really nasty ridges and just kind of smooth it out a little bit and blend it back into the existing paint that we've got here. And so far, so good. It's working really good. You can see the difference between where I've done it and where I haven't. So we'll just continue going, and I'm not going very high on the RPMs just so it's not too crazy. All right, so that only took just a few seconds, and it really did an amazing job. You can see how nice and smooth that is already. So I'm gonna skip the Dremel for the next part, and I'm just gonna use another sandpaper, a very fine grit, just by hand. Okay, so far I'm getting a really good result, and I'm really happy with it, but I'm gonna do the rest of it by hand now because I did all the hard stuff just with the Dremel. I let the tool do the work, and like I said, we got it nice and smooth now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish it off the rest of the way with just some regular 220 grit is what I'm gonna use. And I'm just gonna use, I'll cut a small piece off of this, and then I'll just do the rest of it by hand. So I just ripped a small piece off. I just folded it in half, and now I'm just gonna begin the process of slowly using it by hand. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of go like this and make it nice and smooth again, and it will help kind of blend into the paint by just doing this by hand. And you can see it's making pretty quick work with the paint. So I'm doing this just so it'll be a nice smooth transition into the existing paint. So when we go to do the paint over the top of this, it will kind of blend in, and hopefully it'll just kind of disappear completely. Okay, so that's looking pretty good now that I've got it kind of cleaned up a little bit with that finer grit sandpaper. It's nice and smooth everywhere, so I'm not feeling any ridges as I go up and down to the other part of the paint. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this area really, really good and get it ready just to have some paint put on it. So I'm just going to spray some cleaner on it. Wipe this clean, really, really nice and clean, all sides that I'm gonna be getting the paint put on it. Then we'll get it prepped and ready for paint, but I'm gonna get this nice and clean as I can from any kind of dirt and debris. We'll clean it probably a couple times, let it dry really good, and then we'll start taping things off and prepping it for the paint. Nice and clean now. You can see how nice and smooth that is now. Nice and smooth compared to what it was. Okay, so that area is looking really good. Obviously you can see there's a little bit of scratching here, but hopefully we'll be able to just kind of do a little bit of spray over that area and get it to clean up. We'll see. Next step, we're gonna get it taped off and ready for the paint. Okay, so just like you would tape off a wall for when you're getting ready to paint, I'm just kind of putting some tape and just some rags up. I'm taping the rag on just because I don't want to get any overspray on the wheel or the tire, anywhere that I don't want the paint to go. So I'm just kind of putting the tape in just like that, and I'll get it prepped a little bit more, and then we'll be ready to start applying the first coat of paint. Okay, so the paint that I'm using today, it's just a Rust-Oleum automotive enamel, and I just picked this up at Walmart. I think it was like $9, something like that. What I do like about it is it's got a couple different nozzles on here, so I can change the nozzle depending on the spray pattern that I want to do. I want to do a little fine mist just to start, so I can kind of get, you know, covered up, but it might take a couple coats. But I didn't want it to go everywhere, so I'm going to play around with this a little bit because I'm not familiar with this nozzle. So what we'll do is we'll take one of these cloths and we'll go out on the lawn and just kind of see what the spray pattern is. Okay, what's cool about this spray can is we have all these different nozzles. So we can do a high output, a standard output, a low output, and then you can have a vertical fan or a horizontal fan. So you have all those 5 different nozzles. I'm just going to put it on a low output right now just to see what it does on this cloth. So you set it up here with this number system up there. So I'm going to be looking for a number 3. I want to just change that to 3. I'll shake it up really good and let's see what it looks like. Okay, on number 3. So it comes out pretty good, and it's a pretty wide pattern. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to switch it to the fan. I just want to see. Oh, it's really wide if it does the fan. So we're going to stick with the number 3. That's why we taped everything off, because if I hold it pretty close, it's still going to be a pretty good amount that comes out. But that's not too bad. We'll go see what this does. Okay, so I'm not going to hold it too far away, and I'm just going to do small little puffs just till I get an idea of what it's going to look like. And I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't want any drips or anything. So I'm just going to do just that much, and I'm going to let it dry for a minute, and let's see how it kind of reacts to that metal. Because like I said, what I don't want is a bunch of drips. So when you're working with spray paint, you just kind of, it's in and out. You just really short, quick, and then you get out. But right now, I'm kind of happy with how it's turned out. There's a little bit still showing right there, but we'll come back and do that in just a little bit. Once this first coat's had a chance to dry, we'll come back and do another spritz on it. All right, looking pretty good. We're gonna apply the second coat now. It's been a little bit of time, so. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do again. I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes. Okay, I'm just gonna do one final little spritz, and I'm gonna take everything off. Well, we still have a little bit wet, and it won't be so gummy. There it is. All done. We'll just let it dry for a minute, and we'll start taking everything off. Okay, so that's how it turned out. So not too shabby. It's still wet, but I took all that other stuff off so I wouldn't have any like dry lines or anything like that. But for the most part, I think it turned out pretty good. Protected the wheel from getting any spray paint on it, and the rest of the tire. So not too shabby. All right, so hopefully you found that helpful. It was not the most professional fix, I know that, but for only a $10 Walmart quick trip to, you know, just get some spray paint, I had all the rest of the tools. It was pretty simple to do. Just took a little bit of time, and I think my wheel turned out pretty good. I don't think anybody ever is gonna notice, and made it look a lot better. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this. If you did like this, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that like. You don't want to miss any of the other do-it-yourself projects. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you on the next video.